Gardening has been part of the education system in most public elementary schools. School-aged children are encouraged to cultivate garden plots and grow different types of vegetables. Having gardens in school provides a bigger opportunity for children to learn about the environment and fresh food. The International Institute of Rural Reconstruction pioneered biointensive gardening or BIG in school. BIG promotes climate-friendly gardening practices.
IRR started promoting biointensive gardening or BIG in the Philippines in the 1980s. It was during the collapse of the sugar industry in Negros that resulted to severe malnutrition. In response to this, IRR introduced backyard gardening as well as gardening in schools. We are so happy that this led to the institutionalization of school gardens. However, malnutrition in school-aged children remains to be a great challenge.
The prevalence of undernutrition in the Philippines in 2011 are really high. 3 out of 10 children are stunted and 3 out of 10 children are also underweight. The two major causes of undernutrition among our school kids are low dietary intake and the presence of infection. It has been found out that based on our 2008 National Nutrition Survey, few of our children have met the requirements for energy, protein, iron, and vitamin A, also vitamin C and calcium. The consequences of undernutrition among our school kids are lowered school performance, lowered test scores, and lack of focus and a shorter attention span. It has been found out that these are the causes of low test scores and high dropout rates among our school kids.
Education is highly valued by Filipino families. It is being looked into as the gateway to move out of poverty by the low-income households. But despite of the many policies and programs that support the education system in the Philippines, the fact still remains that there are quite a number of school-aged children who are not in school. Based on the Department of Education's Basic Education Information System, over 500,000 school-aged children are not participating in formal education. While there are families able to send their children to school, still a lot of challenges are faced by Filipino families.
Tunay nga na napakahirap naging mommy. Hindi po siya madali. I need to wake up in the morning at 4 o'clock to prepare all things para hindi siya malate. So talagang yung nutrition minsan hindi ko po napapansin na madalas ko napapaulam hotdog, fried egg. So alam ko po na nakukulang siya sa nutrition sa ganung bagay.
The gardening program of DepEd Cavite is one of the flagship program of the Division of Cavite. It aims to contribute to food sufficiency in Cavite, increase awareness on the importance of nutrition among pupils and students, and improve the nutritional status of the community. Revive interest in agriculture, particularly the youth, and encourage the utilization of idle lands in school and communities, as well as the promotion and the utilization of recyclable materials.
Ang feeding program, ito ay programa ng paaralan para sa mga mag-aaral na medyo may problema sa kalusugan. Ito ay mandatory. Ang objective nito ay para to eradicate, of course, one of the problems of the country, yung malnutrition. Bukod dito, naiwasan yung mga dropouts. Ang DepEd number 80 ay breakfast feeding. So kaya lamang madalang ang nagawa nito, usually ay snack dahil ang constraint ay time and manpower.
Ang expenses namin o ang aming gastos ay walang nag-aano sa amin, nagbibigay. Hindi yung kinukuha namin sa garden, yung mga tanim niya, ang una. Ngayon, kung minsan, walang yung aming garden teacher, wala silang tanim na kailangan namin, kaya ang gumagastos ay ako.
Given these challenges in school feeding and other DepEd programs, IIRR, FNRIDOST, and DepEd collaborated to look into enhancing the existing programs for improving the nutritional status of school-aged children, which have been recognized to affect children's academic performance.
The IDRC supported project, which is done in partnership with the Department of Education, attempts to put value on the integration of school gardening, supplementary feeding, and the nutrition education. The schools need to have the school feeding coordinator as well as the agriculture teachers work hand in hand. The produce that we have from the vegetable gardens can be better utilized in the school feeding centers. But currently, the recipes that we have for the school feeding programs do not feature leafy vegetables or root crops. And, it results to big emphasis on carbohydrates and protein, meat protein. That's why it's important for gardening as well as the emphasis for the school feeding program. Food fortification is one thing that can be done. In fact, the FNRI, the Food and Nutrition Research Institute, have done various studies on the value of iron-fortified rice. And this is what we are introducing in this particular research.
Native varieties are very good sources of vitamins and minerals. Sadly, these are gradually being forgotten. Planting these varieties in school gardens will help promote it back to the communities through the children. To date, the 27 participating schools have established their garden using the BIG technology. 1 crop museum in IIRR and 5 crop museums in schools have also been established in different areas in Cavite. These crop museums provide planting materials to other schools and local communities. To heighten school gardening and encourage children to eat vegetables, agriculture teachers are teaching the BIG technology to the students.
Teaching biointensive gardening to our students is just like preparing them for tomorrow. We teach them how to do the biointensive gardening by assigning them to different plots. So here in our school, our students do gardening by preparing the plots, planting until harvest, and bringing this technology to their home.
The crops that grow in our garden are indigenous plants such as mungo, gabi, upo, tapilan, and many more. Even though these plants died, it keeps the soil fertilized. Our garden is complete in any types of crops, and it is used in our feeding program.
We don't use chemicals, but we are using kakwati leaves, mungo leaves, and others in our garden plots to have a fertilized soil.
We are planting indigenous vegetables because these are fast-growing vegetables. These vegetables, even you don't water it sometimes, it grows well. Examples of indigenous vegetables are kamoteng kahoy, gabi, okra, patani, and so much more.
School garden is the best place to teach children about health, nutrition, and fresh vegetables. It is even better when they are involved in gardening because children tend to eat what they grow.
Ang biointensive gardening ay sistema sa paghahalaman na ginagamitan ng dumi ng mga hayop, balat ng prutas at mga bunot na damo at pagbubungkal ng dipdag.
The harvest in our garden is being used in our feeding program and given to the parents of the indigent pupils and are being sold to the parents and teachers, and purchase of that product is being used to maintain our school garden.
Mere production alone will not be enough, especially if this will not be eaten by the children. That's the reason why emphasizing the value of vegetables, the health value, the nutrient content is very important, and this can be done through nutrition education. Parents need to know what these indigenous vegetables are, their nutrient content, and what are the ways by which parents at home would be able to prepare a more creative and appetizing food, which children would be very excited to eat.
With the ongoing research project of IIRR in partnerships with FNRI-DOST and Department of Education, the school feeding program will become more meaningful as it will utilize nutritious indigenous vegetables being grown in its own BIG garden.